As an animator who works on projects like explainer videos and short films, these kinds of longer form animations can be broken down into scenes, and those scenes can be further broken down into shots. A shot on average can be around 3 to 5 seconds, sometimes shorter, sometimes much longer. So if your project is over a minute long, you're going to have a lot of shots to create and to keep track of during production. It's important to stay organized when creating these shots in your storyboard phase of production, and even more so as you go down the production pipeline into layout, blocking, animation, post-processing, all of those steps. So here's a quick tip on how I stay organized and to stay flexible when creating, file naming, sequencing, and numbering my shots. Okay, so first I'm going to show you the way I used to do it and how it used to give me trouble. So this is not how you label your shots. So you start your story in your storyboard with an establishing shot of a house, and we label this shot 1. Then we move into the house and show a person sitting on the couch watching TV with the clock behind them, and we call this shot 2. Then we go in for a close-up of the clock behind them to see what time it is, call this shot 3. Then we show a shot of the TV turning on, and we call this shot number 4. But now, what if we want to put a shot in between these two? What if we want to show a shot of them picking up the remote, turning on the TV? What do we call this? We call this shot 3A. You could do that. You're introducing letters into the numbering sequence, which in my opinion is a little messy. But what if we want to put a shot in between these two? What if we want to put a shot of the person being grumpy, like, oh, there's nothing on TV? What are you going to call that shot? There's no in-between value you can make between 3 and 3A. And what if you have another shot that you want to put in between here? What are you going to call that shot? This is just getting messy. You might be saying, well, you could just rename these shots. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4. That's true, but what if you're all the way down in the 20s? What if these shots are 23, 24, 25, 26? Again, you can call this 25A, but you're going to have to relabel everything that's before these shots. And what if these shots are in the hundreds? What if this is shot 100, 101, 102? You're going to have to go back and relabel all of the numbers before that. That's just a huge mess. So here's the new method that I found that's been super helpful for me when numbering my shots. Instead of calling shot 1, you call it shot 0, 1, 0. And then 0, 2 becomes 0, 2, 0. 0, 3 becomes 0, 3, 0. Shot 4 becomes 0, 4, 0. At first you might be confused and be like, this is 10, 20, 30, 40. But as you go along with this method, you start to get used to it. And it's just really helpful because 0, 3A right between 3 and 4 can be 0, 3, 5. And then the shot in between 3 and 3, 5 can be 0, 3, 2. So what this is doing is just creating a 9-digit buffer zone in between each shot that you create. That way, if you think of a shot that comes in between any of the shots you've created, you've got 9 opportunities to put things in between and not have anything be misnumbered. Something quick and easy that I thought was super helpful, but hope it helps. Staying organized and efficient is super important to me, especially when I'm working with my clients, and it's also been super helpful when I'm working on my short film Roland. As I'm going through the shot list, I sometimes think of different shots that come before or after ones I've already created. So this workflow is super helpful to stay flexible and add things and keep everything numbered correctly. If you want to join me and watch me create this slow, painful process of creating a short film, you can join me live on YouTube Thursday, March 12th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. What strategies do you implement in your day-to-day workflow? I'm always trying to learn new things, so if you have any tips of your own, please let me know. I'll see you next time.